folks, JD here, and today we're going to be taking this 4x4 off-road crawler for a little bit of a test. Now this is going to be multi-terrain. Start off on tarmac, grass, into the woods behind me, over leaves, see exactly how this does. Now the weather conditions are pretty frightful. We've had nothing but storms for about 2 or 3 days, so hopefully with all this being sodden and really awful, I'm hoping this is going to do quite well. Right. So what have we got with this? Well, I'm going to attach my run cam to the top, get as much video as I possibly can. I'm hoping this is just going to excel. I really am. I've got nothing else to say other than that. One thing I am concerned about is this, all these little connections at the front here. I have gone through them with a little screwdriver and just tightened them up just to see how they go. And so far, they look to be okay. But there's only one way to find out, folks, and that is to test it. So please join me. One thing I'm not expecting this thing to be fast. And that's one thing it doesn't look as if it is. Very slow, but it's okay. We'll see how it goes, see how it runs. Should be okay. It's not waterproof, as he says, going through water. Grass. Starting off on quite light grass, getting to quite thick stuff. And that four-wheel drive, certainly giving it a bit of a helping hand. It's getting through. Okay. So if I turn it round, bring it over here. What about grass, thicker grass, with a bit of a mound to it as well? Now it is going to take a little while to get here. But those LEDs on the front, those lights, really bright. It's probably got, as it is a rock crawler, you know, you are slow, but it is for crawling up rocks and up gravel, and even though the motor is, you can hear that, really trying to overcompensate there for going over this really horrible terrain. You can see that it does it, and I've got full turning ability, left and right. Now we get into the thicker stuff. Now obviously there's one omission I want to make at this point. I said 10 to 15 minutes battery life in the unboxing. It's actually up to 30. I double checked before I came out this morning, and it's up to 30 minutes. Thicker grass again, and that seems to be its weak spot. Just give it a gentle nudge. Oh, I didn't even touch it then. And it got through it. It seems to be crawling through quite nicely. One thing I would like to see though, I would like to see a waterproof option where the underbelly is just totally and utterly covered. And now we're back on the road. Okay, so far, doesn't look like a lot. You can see the tracks coming through here. Doesn't look like a lot, but for a little car with a little brush motor, that could be quite a bit. So what I'm going to do is pick it up. We're going to do a little 5 minutes in the woods here, just in some mud, just see how it goes. We've got a hell of a dip here, loads of rocks in the way of it. I've got to keep an eye on my bag as well. The test isn't really going down it, the test is coming back up it. There's a load of jagged rocks sticking out of the way here. Let me just check there's no dogs down there with owners, because they usually like to come down this part of the woods, because it leads from one end, this end here, down to the back end there, where I fly some of the other quads. Right, let's reverse it. And then let's bring it back. There we go. Look at how bright those LEDs are at the front. Very, very nice. Now, it's very jagged, as you can see from the FPV. It's not ideal, but it's just munching through it. No problem whatsoever. Now here is where I'm going to go over the rocks. No problem. Okay, this is turning itself into a little capable car. So, let's back it up. Let's take it back around. I don't think this is going to last long with me. Back down over those rocks. Keeping it going. Let's see if I can take it down a little bit further. Should be able to. Just keep an eye on my bag, because I've got a bit of my other quads and stuff in there. So I'm just going to I can't see anybody walking through there or any dogs, because the dogs would run after that thing. So I'm just going to keep an eye on it, and I'm going to take it into the field a little bit, into the woods, nice little bit of control range. Should have about 100 meters roughly. Well, it certainly seems to be doing quite well. It's gone into the woods. Now I've just turned it round right through some leaves and bringing it back, and it certainly seems to be doing very well. I didn't think it was going to be that good, I'll be honest with you. I thought there was going to be tyre slipping. I thought that the wheels won't be hitting the rubber tracks properly, and it wouldn't be able to get proper traction, and it would be almost like trying to scratch to find its way. But so far, and this is, you'd be surprised, this is quite a gradient, as I'm sure you can see from the camera angle. You know, this is not a little bump or a little step. This is a proper. And then coming back at the top here, over these big rocks again. No problem. And out it comes. Through a bramble. Well, fair play, little guy. This guy has done quite well so far. I don't know what you guys think, but I think I'm quite impressed with this little fella. His turning is good as well. Considering the tracks, his wheels, if you wish, his tracks move. It's quite a nice angle. It's normally you get really quite slow with these cheaper cars. You don't have that angle. You can't turn it quick, so you have to eventually make a big arc to get to where you want to be. Whereas this guy is just seeming to not have a problem. The worst thing about this is that my finger is getting chewed up by this hammer. But let's try some mulch. Over here we've got some really horrible leaves, all mulched together with wet grass, mud, stones. Those hydraulics are working really quite well. You can see it moving left and right. You can hear that motor straining a bit, which is fine. And if I turn it, this is where you normally find the most resistance, is where you turn a car when it's got all that crud underneath it. And when you start to turn it, it starts to go really slow. The strain is on the motor at that point. I think I brought some leaves with me, so because this isn't a waterproof fella, I'm going to just pick him up and get rid of these leaves and that entwined. But so far, the motor housing is cold. So I was concerned a little bit by going through the woods that this guy would get quite warm, but not the case. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pack up my stuff here and we're going to head into that woods and see how far I can drive this for, just in that woods. Come on in, fella, back to me. So then, my friends, I'll see you in 5 minutes. I've got all my stuff on my back, got my bag. Shout out to Dean Green, who loves this bag. There you are, Dean, that's the bag. So let's go through all of this. And then when we get down the bottom, I'll show you how steep this actually is. So down we go. A couple of jagged rocks here. Oh. So if that keeps on going, that's it. So you've got these rocks sitting there, all these underneath here. You've got a couple of tree roots, quite big tree roots coming through here. So off we go. So what are we looking at? So as you can see, we've got quite a wooded area. Let's just keep going straight through and see exactly how far this guy can go. It's not nice terrain, you know, this is all over the place. But you can see there's multiple points where you can get out, and it's really steep. So far, this car's been going for quite a while, and yeah, I think he's doing remarkably well. I really do. That little motor banging away inside of it, no problem whatsoever. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Is that the battery going? Might be. That motor does sound under a lot of strain, and I haven't really run this in properly, so I wouldn't be at all surprised if that was the motor that was going. It got stopped by a twig, so yeah, that would be the battery. Come on. I wonder whether I can... No. That's it, my friends. Battery is down and out. So let's stop this recording. Right. So as I'm walking back, what do I think about this little guy? He surprised me. He shocked me. He really did. This is so cheap. Ridiculously cheap. Thank you, Banggood, for sending it to me. I'm really quite happy with it. I wanted to go for something a little bit different, and there's nothing more different than that. But so far we've taken him on a woodland trail, we've taken him on gravel, we've taken him on mulch, we've taken him through water, we've taken him through grass, we've taken him through a real wooded area here, and found that, well, it works really well. Really well. It isn't quick. It's your average rock crawler. You know, if you want something that does 40 miles an hour, get a car that does 40 miles an hour. This won't achieve that for you. Yes, you could probably replace the motor if you could find a brushless one to fit in this exact particular place. But that might be a next job, you know. But yeah, I think all in all, this is just brilliant. I like it. The level of detail in the dashboard, the level of detail over the car, over the truck, the whole thing is just brilliant. I really like it. I'm going to be using this a bit more, I think. All right then, folks. Well, let me know what you think. Look at it. It just looks amazing. Thanks ever so much for watching and listening, my friends. I've been JD. You've been fantastic as always. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Hello and welcome to all the new subscribers. I hope you're enjoying the channel. So until next time, my friends, happy crawling.